Welcome to the NEREJ NYREJ podcast. I'm your host, Rick Kaplan. And my guest today, it's a special guest. This is my longtime ex-co-host from the beginning when we started this New England Real Estate Journal, New York Real Estate Journal radio show. It's Eric Wilson, and Eric is with Wallpen Corporation right now. And Eric's going to tell us, what is your journey since you left the Real Estate Journal?
Well, thanks for having me back, Rick. It's been a long time. It's good to see you. You still look as good as always.
Thank you. You're also a good liar.
One of my benefits I learned from you at NEREJ Radio. So I left in 2016, and from there I kind of try to find my way, so to speak. I worked at a company called Inspired Technology. I did some appliance sales in a company in Braintree, Mass. I pretty much did like a year and a half at all these different type of ventures. And then I did I sold some foam casing up at Foam Tech in Fitchburg. I used to drive to Fitchburg every morning from Foxborough. And then I actually did this knife exchange company called Market Grind out of Middleborough. And I used to deliver knives to restaurants and grocery stores, which was kind of bizarre. I did that for a summer. I'm the president of the Northeast Flying Disc Golf Association. It's the New England Flying Disc Golf Association, but I like to call it Northeast just because of we have New York as well. So I've been a president for that association for going on 3 years now. And then finally, for the last 2 years, but prior to Wallpen, I was a senior project manager for a huge fence contractor out of Canton called Premier Fence. I actually went there for a sales job, but they tried to, or I shouldn't say they tried, they sold me that I'd be a better project manager. So I did that, and then I got promoted to project manager. I was pretty good at it. And then Wallpen kind of came along, and I was really intrigued at the technology, but more importantly, I was really trying to get back into that sales job. So that's kind of my 9 years, probably 7 companies in 9 years. But if you're not moving, you're dying, so to speak.
Okay, until you find something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how long have you been with Wallpen?
As of July 23rd. So I started July 23rd. I did 2 weeks here in Rhode Island, and then I went to 2 weeks in Germany, and now I'm back here for my second week in America.
And Wallpen is a German company?
Yeah, the headquarters in manufacturing is out of a place called, we would pronounce it Wissen, but they pronounce it Wissen, as their W's, their V's. Wissen, Germany, it's about an hour outside of Frankfurt.
So how do you like it? You must like it.
I love it. So the thing is great is because the technology is amazing. That's number one. It's a really cool community because you deal with a lot of artists and graphic designers on one side of it, but on the other side you deal with a lot of like paint companies, interior decorators, things like that. So it has a good influx of different types of characters that I like to talk to, so the conversation is never dull.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what the product really does and how it works and what kind of clients you try to find.
Sure. So as the machine itself is called a Wallpen. It's a vertical printer, right? So it prints on vertical surfaces. It could be wood, slate, brick, concrete, stucco, pretty much anything that's vertical, like 99% of materials. It could be indoors or outdoors. And basically it is a way for you to put photographs and or graphic art up onto the wall, and it prints in the CMYK system with white. It uses a UV based ink so that it cures instantly. Yeah, so that's pretty much the machine, is layman as I can put it.
So what
People,
kind of applications fits this product? Is this for like a lobby of a company where they would put their
correct.
logo and maybe a picture?
Yeah, correct, exactly. So we have operators all over the globe. They've been international. They've been around for 10 years. They're just kind of breaking into the American market almost a second time here. So we have a distribution partner that's in Utah that does the West Coast, and they used to have a distribution partner in North Carolina that did the East Coast, but they went on to be more of a service-based company in order to help wall printing companies. So our customers here on the East Coast are primarily painting companies and or independent contractors who have the machine, and they target, yes, they'll target hotels for murals behind the headboards of rooms. They do hospitals and hallways. They do museums. They do pretty much anywhere that you would need something, like whether it's the written word, restaurants, or another big area. Companies, boutique stores, and storefronts with glass, and you want to be able to have an image on the glass but still be able to see through to see the product. That's kind of where its wheelhouse is. But again, it could be used in any application. You could do kids' bedrooms. You could do, the kids' reading room at your local library. Any of those type of images as well.
So now, are you selling the machine or are you selling what the machine creates?
Okay, so I sell the machine personally. So I'm part of the manufacturing distribution team. The operators themselves, the people who buy the machine and use the machine, they would provide those services to the customers. So I'm more like, think of a Bosch appliance, or a Bosch tool. I'm more of a toolkit person. So I provide the tools, you would provide the service, whether it be, speaking to a graphic artist to get it designed, whether the company already has their logos and design. They would just send it over to you. You just kind of upload it and turn it into a certain file format in order for the printer to read it and then print it itself.
So your clients are basically either a painting company, an interior design company, or a graphic design company, maybe.
Yeah. Signage companies,
What kind?
signage, like companies
Yeah,
that do signage.
yeah,
Yeah,
signage
exactly.
company, which there are plenty of those around. And
Yeah, for sure.
so now, if you put someone's logo into this machine, and I'm
Mhm.
assuming that there's like a computer that you put you download the graphics or you put in the graphics,
Correct.
and that
Correct.
will then be reproduced onto a wall.
Correct. So it's a simple app. You can use it on Android or iOS. You just upload your image to the app itself. Once you do that and turn it into the right file format, which is a TIFF format, right from there, pretty much you just have to set what your parameters are or where you want to print on the wall, and then it would go. As you can kind of see the eye behind me,
Yeah.
that's a wall print as well.
Oh, okay. So
So
let's say
pretty much
someone,
something like that.
okay. So let's say someone puts something up on the wall and then they say, like a year later, they got some new things that they're working on and they want to put that as their new lobby layout or part of
Mhm.
their lobby layout. Can you then remove this by either painting over it or it has to be taken, how do you take it down?
Correct. There's a few ways. So if say it's a plaster wall like the one you see behind me, we would just paint white coats over it, two white coats over it in the morning, let it dry by the afternoon, and reprint right over it. If you're on wood or something like that, you'd probably have to sand it off, right? Because you're not going to be able to, take it off the wood. If you're doing it on slate or something like that, there's ways to get that off with different things. Glass, you could use like a razor and just push it right off. And then finally, if you're going to do like concrete or something like that, you just re-stucco the wall real quick.
Okay,
So
so it can be,
there are customers that do that, right? Like, so you think of a hotel or something like that, or a company that wants to change their foyer, say seasonally. That happens a lot. So some of the customers do have things like that.
yeah, or if they like a seasonal type of
Yeah,
business.
exactly.
They can change
Yeah,
per
so you could do
season.
something like say, every 3 months I'll come in and give you a new image, a new mural decals and things like that with your logo. And yeah, those are typically the customers that our operators are looking for, right? So it's more of like recurring revenue, so to speak. So those are really good. You don't come across them all the time, but yeah,
But what
that's how we.
about someone that has a retail business and they change their look every once in a while or
Yeah.
every year or every season. Uh, would they possibly want to buy a machine like this so they can do it themselves?
Yeah, so we do have some facility managers companies, right? Like some like IFMA, so to speak, like those kind of companies that I'm just using some terminology I remember from NEREJ. Uh, like companies inside IFMA, yeah. So if you're changing your foyer or you want to change hallways and you got different companies coming in and you want to be able to do that, like instead of putting decals on the glass doors to entrance in different offices, you could just scrape and have your own machine. Yes, we do have some facilities companies that have bought their own machine, so that again, this is a one-man machine, right? It only takes one person to set it up, one person to put it together. It's only put together with one tool. It's German engineered, so it's built to last as long as you take care of it. And yeah, so some companies will do that, and just to make it easier for themselves.
So now, when you put this machine together, you know how you have the new ink jet printers where you put the liquid ink into li- they're like reservoirs. They
Correct.
pour Is it similar to that where you put the paint in different reservoirs with the
That's
different
exactly
colors?
what it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So the machine carries 5 bags, these aluminum bags that hold 30 milliliters, and you basically would fill that bag up. And as the bag goes down, when you're on the app will tell you how much ink you're going to use per image. So if I like the eye behind me was, like 1.7 milliliters of ink just to put that on. So, and it'll tell you each of the 4 colors, CM, Y, and K, and white, how much we use. So you can pretty much know how often you need to refill those bags. And you get bottles and you just basically squeeze the bottle into the bag to refill.
So the paint is purchased through you?
Correct.
Yep.
You get 2 years free of paint, right, of the ink. So you get basically a monthly installment each month. You can order free ink up to the first 2 years after the purchase of the machine. And that
Great.
should cover about 2,000 square feet of print.
So Eric, tell me, if someone wants to find out more information, is there a website they can go to?
Of course, you can go to wallpen.com, WALLPEN.com.
And can they find your information there as well?
Yes, if you go to the US branded one, that'll take you right to Wallpen Corp.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Eric. It's always great to see you. And we should
Yeah,
probably do this more often. I miss our banter that
I
we
know.
used to have.
I'm sure all of your listeners do too.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you, Eric. I wish you well with this product, and
My
hopefully
pleasure.
there'll be people that are listening today that will find it interesting and want to contact you. I hope.
Yeah, hopefully. There's always like the thing about it is a lot of interior designers are more like partners because they get to use it and they get to design those type of prints into their decorating. So hopefully they'll take a look and see what this machine has to offer for them, and they'll reach out to painting companies and things like that. But I'm really glad to see that you're still doing this after all these years.
Yeah.
You don't look like you've aged a day.
Yeah.
And
I feel like I have.
the funny thing is, like, I remember, I can tell you having, you're so seasoned at this. I remember it used to take us about 15 minutes just to get the first promo out.
Yeah, I don't do that many promos anymore. So
Right?
Eric, one more time, what's the website?
Wallpen.com.
Easy enough. And we're
Easy
talking with
enough.
Eric Wilson, and he's with wallpen.corp. And if again, you can find him at that website he just said. Website will also be at the end of the video and on the info and the podcast platforms. Again, thank you, Eric.
Thanks for having me, Rick.
And I'm Rick Kaplan with the New England Real Estate Journal, and you're listening to the NEREJ NYREJ podcast. Until next time.